WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. Your home for the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Sportsvisions 92.1. You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Friday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones. Of course, we call him the Swiss Army knife. He's Lindley and Morgan's dad. Oh, well, you like I did. That's my little reverb. Hey, it's Richard Holder. Good morning, sir.
Great morning, DJ. Wow, it's Friday. I can't believe today is Heritage Bowl Day.
Heritage Bowl Day, indeed. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But more importantly, hey, man, big shout out to all the folks who came out and joined us last night at kickoff work calls out at the Cunningham Center on the campus of Columbus State University. Man, what a time. It's our fourth annual, and it was our biggest, best, in more ways than one.
Yeah, DJ, that was a lot of fun. I had plenty of food. Great.
Every time I looked up, I saw you over there.
Oh, man.
But you was just sampling a little bit of everything.
I was sampling a little bit whenever I got a break. But, yeah, I mean, we even had A.J. Robinson singing the national anthem, and he put on a little bit of halftime show as well. And we had the games up. It was FCS games. I mean, this is actually, we had live games up on the screen, and even threw in the Braves up on the screen as well toward the end of the night.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic evening. And again, I tell you, man, we just had a lot of fun, but broke records with regards to the amount of money that was raised over $25,000 just last night alone. So that told you how that room was built. That room was full of generous people that cared about, of course, the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home and Twin Cedars, and they were exactly, that's exactly what would you expect, in year four. I mean, gradually over the years when we started, several years back, I'm sure that everybody thought it was a great idea, but nobody had any idea that it would be this much fun and it would be the folks would be this generous.
Yeah, a huge success once again, and it just goes to all the teamwork and the effort from Twin Cedars, and Kim Rozicki has such a fantastic staff. I mean, it was a great night. I mean, we had all the folding chairs around in the Cunningham Center, plenty of people that were cheering on their favorite teams. And, the workers did a great job just to making sure that, the food was there and the beverages. And I just was blown away by everything. And I did take a sneak peek in the silent auction a couple of times and had some pretty good items. I know people were excited about that with the items that they got to take home. And then the Columbus Lions were there. Coach Daniels and his staff were there. And, of course, Kim's husband, who's an offensive line coach for the Lions. It was a wonderful time, and I'm glad that I got to be a part of it once again.
Big shout out to everybody once again who showed up. Again, we'll talk periodically throughout the show about last night. And, more importantly, again, over $150,000 was raised due to this event. And thank you for all of you out there who had the opportunity to contribute. And we look forward to seeing you right back there again this time next year.
Yeah, next year. It can't get any sooner. It's going to be a great time, and what a way to kick off the college football season, as this is week 0. We have got Division I games this Saturday. I mean, starting off with North Carolina and TCU.
Big ups to Bobby Brown and, of course, Rodney Lawrence. They have the first two members in the front row of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for helping us get our day started. I tell you, man, we are so appreciative, and we know that you're ready for the weekend. And with that said, why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody out there that's joining us in Facebook as well as YouTube land. We appreciate the fact that you allow us to help you get your day started. And for all of our friends out there in WLTC, HD2, Sportsvisions 921 land, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody.
Richard, let's get this party started. It's TGIF, man.
Yes.
It's Friday, and of course, we're broadcasting from the PMB studios in beautiful Midtown Columbus, only a 40-yard dash down the street from the FLASHBACK Tower. And man, oh man, boy, we got another day, man. I mean, it's another big event. People coming in from miles around. It's Heritage Bowl at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. Myself and, of course, Thrift Barringer will be on the call. Richard will be a sideline reporter. He and Colin Scroggin. So that dynamic duo. I tell you, how you guys, what are you thinking? How you guys going to do that? How you going to switch off?
I think we're just going to take turns.
Okay.
I'll interview somebody. I don't know if we're going to do it after every quarter or at halftime, but yeah, because we got one cameraman, one mic. I'll just be hanging around Colin on the sideline, and we could do an interview, and I can do an interview, and that's how we're going to play it out.
All righty, and again, of course, when we have anything serious on the field, whether it's a major call or an injury or any special timeout, we'll certainly throw it down to the field because you guys will be boots on the ground.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and again, big shout out to all the folks that are coming in from all over the country. That's right, all over the country. And we may mention that this game alone, for the last 15, 20 years, of course, since it's been named the Heritage Bowl, that's for primarily the newbies. But this was a traditional game that went back because for those of you who didn't know it, Spencer was the first public school in Columbus, Georgia for African Americans. Mm-hmm. And that's right. It opened up many, many years ago, and then, several years later, Carver was, of course, indoctrinated. Carver was a middle school, back when Spencer was the first high school for African Americans, and Carver was more of a junior high, as they called it. And several years later, they, of course, were able to make Carver a high school, and those two schools have been rivalries and have been actually connected at the hip ever since. We had an opportunity to hear from some wonderful people all week long, and again, one in particular, Ben Watson, who is he's our resident sports historian, had a very, very nice piece yesterday, a presentation talking about BT Folks, the common denominator, the pioneer, the icon of the Carver Spencer Classic, because he was the guy that made it happen. He started over at Spencer, of course, won many championships in the black college, or at least the black high school leagues. Back coming up, and again, went over to Carver, started that program. Very unique. A lot of information was given, and I tell you what, I encourage you, if you have not heard that interview, and again, now we might, I don't think so. We got a pretty packed show. I was going to say, Richard, we would play some excerpts or play some clips, but I don't think we got time in the show today. But just going over to Ben Watson's Facebook page, and of course, hear the presentation, or you can go to our Facebook page from yesterday, a little bit later in the day, and you can hear the whole presentation. Actually, he had a 5-minute deal that he had done on Facebook, but then we brought him back live on the show for a Q&A. And I tell you what, man, if you didn't learn anything, Richard, yesterday, it ain't nothing you can do.
Yeah, most likely it is definitely a great interview that if we do have time, we could play it. It's 5 minutes, but it was brilliant 5 minutes by Ben Watson, who's just a great historian. I just can't wait for this game. Spencer's got a lot of momentum getting ready to take on Carver. Carver wants to try to get their first win of the season after losing to Douglas of Atlanta last week, 28-7. And Spencer beating Brookstone. That's given them a lot of confidence in week one, and then coming into week two, a non-region game, but still the bragging rights, the trash talking, the pageantry, everything that you expect in a Heritage Bowl, tailgating at 3:00 in the afternoon. You're going to see it all. A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. And this is our game of the week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Big ups to Stanley Crowell. He's the next member, as the third member of the front row.
Well, we got four members, DJ.
Actually, four members. Stanley, Rodney, Ricky, and Bobby. All right, man. I tell you what, they're filling up right now. And, of course, everybody's feeling the excitement of this weekend. I tell you, man. Hey, what about the Shaw Raiders? How about those Shaw Raiders? 2-0. I tell you what, man, I'm excited for Coach Gardner out there. And again, he had a great preseason, and of course, he had some great sessions with us. And it was just an opportunity for us to, of course, let him know that he was our wild card.
DJ, I'm going to do it for the people on the screen so you can see it. Shaw U 2-0. I know that Coach Johnny Gardner's happy about that. They shut out another opponent. They beat Upson-Lee 21-0 after beating Booker T. Washington the week before 14-0. And they got a lot of confidence starting the year 2-0. Congratulations to the Shaw Raiders.
Have you been able to follow them? What's their MO?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who's some of the names or who's some of the people? I mean, because again, I know in the early goings, man, these folks are rock stars here.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, on Georgia Alabama Sports Live with between Thrift and myself and you, we basically thought and said that it's time for the Raiders to stand up. It's time, and I'm telling you what,
man,
2-0, man. Those folks are flying high.
They're definitely flying high. I'm excited about Shaw Raiders. Vernon Gamble, that's a name that you definitely need to pay attention to. He rushed for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had a 92-yard run for a touchdown.
Wow.
And, of course, Otis Stevens on the defense, just a sack master. Shaw is going to be going on the road, taking on a familiar face as the coach over there in Bainbridge. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the name Jamie DuBose.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
That name sounds familiar,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's saying he coached across the river, didn't he?
Yeah, coached across the river. But he's now the coach at Bainbridge.
A big shout out to the Shaw Raiders. Who's that running back again?
Vernon Gamble Jr.
Vernon Gamble. Hey, folks, go ahead and make a little mental note. This kid's rushed for over 200 yards.
Yeah,
he pulled off a 90-yard. Oh, you said an 82-yard or
a 92-yard?
92 yards. So that tells me one thing: he is explosive. Not only is he explosive, he has to be fast. 92 yards and to the house.
Yeah, and what a night! I actually, after the kickoff for a cause, it's on the way home.
Yeah.
So I swung by Kinnett Stadium.
Being the football and sports junkie that you are, I didn't expect anything less.
I wanted to see the stadium. I've heard it's
beautiful. You mean to tell me you have waited this long?
No, I've seen it from the outside. I have not been inside the stadium to see like the atmosphere, and they've done a great job with the renovation. So in the visitor side and the home side, they have the foldback seats in the middle. Yep. So they're not bleachers. You get to sit.
When you say
seats.
foldback or chairback?
The chairback seats. Okay. I don't know why I said foldback, but the chairback seats. They have those in the middle of the stadium.
Wonderful.
They've improved the fiber optics, so the internet was immaculate. So they have better internet. And it was a great atmosphere. Upson Lee brought a lot of fans from Thomaston, and what a way to kick off Kinnett Stadium. I was told because Casey Ingram, she is the facilities manager for Kinnett Stadium, that we won't have a Thursday night game next week, but the next game at Kinnett Stadium, because I was curious, is going to be Columbus and Westover, and another local coach is coming to town. I don't know if you heard of the name Corey Joyner.
Yes.
Does that name sound familiar?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Coming from down in Albany, Georgia, right?
I love all these local coaches coming back. And Justin Newman is another local coach who's going to come back later in the season.
Absolutely. So who will Joyner's team, who is he playing?
Westover.
Westover, who are they playing here?
Oh, they're playing Columbus.
So we are playing Columbus
on Friday.
Okay. Well, also, again, action last night, Kendrick beat Hardaway. And, of course, we want to let you know about that as well. Smith Station wasn't so successful. Percy Julian was able to knock them off.
Yeah, just couldn't find a way to get it done. They were leading in the third quarter in that game, 21-19. Playing a tough opponent on the road, it just sometimes it just doesn't go your way. I mean, this was a winnable game for the Smith Station Panthers, but Percy Julian able to pull it out at the last minute.
Absolutely. Hey, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the day and let you know that you're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. By the end of September, Jacksonville, Florida-based company Duos Edge will operate a small data center at the number 8 Corporate Ridge, which was once a TSYS data center. The CEO of Duos Edge says they were to revitalize buildings that once were data centers. The company provides computing and data space to a wide range of end users, and no single customer will utilize the facility. Georgia gubernatorial Democratic candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms visited Columbus Thursday for her meet and greet hosted by the Greater Columbus Chamber of Commerce. Here, voters were able to hear her goals for the state, similar to the meet and greet held earlier this month for Republican nominee Rick Zach Jackson. And nationally, Congress is launching an investigation into flock cameras. The license plate readers that are said to be helpful law enforcement tools are being investigated for data and privacy concerns. Republicans and Democrats agree there needs to be some guardrails, as there have been reports of misuse across the country. Flock says they will respond to questions raised and provide content about safeguards built into the platform. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings.
Good Friday morning. We are waking up to clouds, humidity, and a few showers and storms across the region. We continue to track a stalled front that will keep rain chances through the day, with highs staying in the upper 80s this afternoon. A few storms this evening could cause delays for Friday night football, so keep an eye on the sky. And this weekend brings more isolated showers and thunderstorms to the region, with more sun and hotter temperatures returning next week in that extended forecast.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sportsvisions 92.1.
Hey folks, this is Michael Bratton, and I want to say thank you to all my customers. Without you guys, we wouldn't be in business today. Remember, we're going to take care of you before, during, and after the sale. My sales team has over 100 years of combined automotive excellence. Shop us today. Shop us at BrattonAutomotive.com. And remember this, I stack 'em deep and sell 'em cheap.
This hour brought to you in part by Gill's Auto Sales, now celebrating their 40th anniversary.
Stop! Listen to this urgent message from 1-800-NEW-RATE. Don't pawn that title until you talk to 1-800-NEW-RATE first. If you need cash and have a free and clear title to your vehicle, don't pawn it before you call 1-800-899-6669. We offer monthly payments and also report to the credit bureau to help you build your great credit. With each payment paid, your balance will reduce until it's paid off. So if you have a free and clear title to your vehicle, call 1-800-NEW-RATE first to discuss your options. Don't pawn that title. Let us show you what a 1-800-NEW-RATE deal has to offer you. Just call 1-800-899-6669 to discuss your options. Don't wait. Call us today and let us show you how we can lower your payments and help your credit at the same time. Call now. 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. 1-800-899-6669. Call right now. Motors Acceptance Corporation, doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you take medication? At VA, prescriptions have a range of copay levels, from free to $5, $8, or $11 for a 30-day prescription, depending on your eligibility. Refill by mail, in person, or on VA's mobile app. Sign up at va.gov or call 1-800-MyVA411.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. And it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us. Operation Homefront, they've really been a blessing.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's Flashback Friday. Richie, what you got over there?
Man, I got some Tony.
Absolutely, man.
You know who the lead singer is for Tony?
No.
Raphael Sadiq.
Man, that's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, it goes way up on the list of my top 10. But I mean, when that song came on, man, it put a little pep in my step. And hopefully this morning, you had some heads bobbing and the folks, in a great frame of mind. Of course, it's Friday. It's the last day of the week, and most people are going to do it up. They'll probably take off starting at lunch.
As soon as you said that, DJ, I could think of that song off the Friday soundtrack where Dr. Dre says, "I know you're bopping your heads." Because I can
Yeah, I wonder if you can find that.
Keep Their Heads Ringing by Dr. Dre?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to try to find that one.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, we got a nice show for you today. Oliver Davis, he's going into the Tennessee State University Athletic Hall of Fame. We're going to hear from him, as well as, of course, Tim Turner will be joining us as well. Scott Williams from the SEC Network will be a part of the show as well. And, of course, we'll hear from our citywide athletic director Kendall Mills. And I tell you, it's a great opportunity to go ahead and shout him out right now. Again, they're doing some wonderful things. Off to a doggone good start here to the start of high school football season.
Yeah, fantastic job by Kendall Mills and his staff to have 2 high school football games in Muskogee County last night down at Otis Spencer Stadium. Stephen Campbell, he is the facilities manager there, did a fantastic job. Now, we weren't there at Otis Spencer for Hardaway Kendrick, but I heard it was just a great atmosphere. And then for the first game at Kinnett Stadium with all the renovations, and it was just a celebration just to appreciate Kinnett Stadium. And I appreciate Kinnett because it's right by my house.
I forgot to ask you about the experience with the crowd out there.
Pretty decent crowd for both teams. I'll tell you, I was talking to some Shaw fans. They were hyped up after that win, and man, 2-0. And I know that Coach Mills is got to be excited that first Thursday night football in Muskogee County went off without a hitch.
We're excited for Johnny Gardner. I tell you what, he's put in time. He's been he's a coach. Not only has he been this coach out at Shaw for several years, but he's been in the system. He's been coaching for a while, and he deserves some success. And I'm just glad that a local homegrown guy is actually getting some success and getting has the opportunity to take center stage.
Yeah. You know who I saw in the coach's booth? He wasn't coaching. The legendary coach Charles Flowers.
Yes,
he's got his pad and pencil. He's looking at the field like he's coaching, but he's just there observing these coaches for Shaw in the coach's booth. I didn't get a chance to say hi to him, but I know that he's got to be excited. Anytime you go to a football game at Kinnett Stadium, you know you're going to see Coach Flowers because he loves football, and he is still, in his mind, still coaching.
Do you know the connection between Charles Flowers and Johnny Gardner?
Yes, that is Coach Gardner's stepfather.
Absolutely. So, again, you wouldn't want anybody but your dad to be on the sideline with you, and again, especially with his name on the entire athletic complex.
Yeah, the entire complex. I mean, it spreads beyond the campus of Shaw because Kinnett Stadium, it's like right near Shaw. So, we're gonna say that's all of Charles Flowers complex right there.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about those Atlanta Braves. Big shout out to Chris Sale, man. He was on fire last night. 11 strikeouts, and of course they swept the Dodgers 1-0 last night. And man, I tell you, the Atlanta Braves look like they're in rare fashion.
Yeah, it was a playoff atmosphere. What was very impressive about the Braves, they went up against the Dodgers' top 3 pitchers and were able to get 1-run victories, one in walk-off fashion the night before. And then this 1-0 match, Drake Baldwin got the big home run. Crushed it.
Yeah,
because they actually Yoshi Yamamoto did a pretty good job the other night. Tyler Glasnow comes back from injury, and there's so much momentum right now with the Atlanta Braves. They're 5 up on the Phillies.
Yes.
Still the 3 seed, their game back of the Dodgers. But I tell you what, I would be excited if the Braves face the Dodgers in the playoffs because they really took it to them. And I think this is going to give them confidence. And you can't let up. They got the Rockies next, and then they got the Giants for 1 game. They got to continue winning. You cannot lose any of these games because the Rockies and the Giants are inferior opponents. And I know I'm saying this as a Giants fan, DJ, so that's kind of
that's big. That's big time.
That's big time.
Yeah. Hey, but you said it right, though. I mean, we're going to find out a little bit about the Braves here with this situation. Sweeping, of course, the Dodgers, and again, they are definitely playing well. But we talked to Gary Ingram a little bit about this. We can't have any let-ups. The Colorado Rockies are coming into town. Obviously, they're in the what do you call them? Bottom swellers, bottom dwellers.
Yeah,
they're not doing, but those are still professional athlete, grown men. And they have obviously incentives, although they might not necessarily have a shot at taking their teams to the playoffs. But individually, they still have incentives in their contracts, for pitching, hitting. I mean, so these guys are really they're going to have a reason and a purpose to knock the Braves off the block.
Yeah, no question about it. The Rockies are going to try to play spoiler as we get closer and closer to the month of September. This is where we start seeing clarity in baseball, and hopefully the Braves can continue winning because you don't want to have what happened in 2011. We all know about the collapse where they blew the division lead and they missed out on the playoffs altogether. But the Braves have the pitching, and they just got to have the mindset. Walt Weiss has just got to get them motivated, and that's the key thing is motivation, not only from the clubhouse, but from the fans. I know that college football is just around the corner. I don't want to see casual fans that just drop off and don't pay attention to the Braves just because college football is here.
All right. What we'll do, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll have Oliver Davis, better known as Coach Oliver Davis, because he not only played locally for Mount Olive, which is now Russell County High School, grew up in Seal. He also coached in the Chattahoochee Valley, as well as playing in the NFL, and was an All-American at Tennessee State University. Coming up next, Oliver Davis on the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Tired of paying storage across town? For just $99 down, Action Buildings delivers your own 10 by 16 building. Set up right in your backyard. Your things stay close, on your property, and with room for whatever you need to store. And approval is easy. In-house financing with no credit. With over 600 positive reviews, Action Buildings is the name your neighbors trust. Head to 5371 Sidney Simons Boulevard right off the Airport Thruway or go to actionbuildings.com. Action Buildings, where extra space starts.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Damaging an underground utility can cause a lot more problems than you think. By causing a potentially avoidable damage to underground utilities, there's many scenarios that do not end well. To keep the gas, power, water, and internet running, using 811 to have your underground utilities marked is a critical piece of the damage prevention process, whether you're a homeowner or an excavator. It's free, it's simple, and it's the law. Visit al811.com for more information.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
In 2017, our daughter remarkably sang her way to the finals of America's Got Talent.
But the real miracle is that she even made it to the stage. When she was 4, she survived sepsis.
When it comes to sepsis, remember, it's about time. Watch for T, temperature that's abnormal. I, signs of an infection. M, mental decline. E, feeling extremely ill.
Take the time now to learn more at sepsis.org.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. VA disability compensation is a monthly tax-free payment to veterans who got sick or injured in the military and to veterans whose service worsened an existing condition. You may qualify for VA disability compensation for physical and mental health conditions that developed or worsened due to service. Learn more at va.gov/disability.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Alabama at highschoolofficials.com.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. Getting a pass is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
You're waking up with a Sports Visions morning show on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
To all the killers and the $100. All right, without further ado, let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring him up. This guy is, of course, the heart and soul of the Chattahoochee Valley. He's a former Tennessee State graduate as well as All-American. He's also a former Super Bowl player with, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals, and he also played with the Cleveland Browns. Please help me welcome to the Sports Visions morning show, Oliver Davis. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you and Rich doing today? I appreciate y'all very much, man.
Absolutely, man. You're deserving. You're so deserving. I'm surprised that no, I shouldn't be surprised that you're up. Do you have a tea time this morning?
Not this morning, but tomorrow morning.
Good deal, man. Congratulations on all that you've done. I know that that this is something of a heartwarming interview from me, because again, we've had opportunities to do this before, but we haven't been on the morning show. And to introduce you, I think that you have been a secret, an untold story of sports history in this town. And I'm just happy that you agreed to come on this morning and, of course, accept your flowers. And because, the Sports Vision Nation loves you. This community loves you. And I don't think that we tell you and show you in enough ways that you can appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Of course, I love you guys, too. The thing that you do in the community is unmeasurable. You can't say enough good words about the thing that you do and the thing that you share with the community. Keep us well informed about what's going on and keep it correct. And that's the important thing, is keep it correct. No false narrative, just the truth as it is.
Absolutely. Oliver, let's do this, man, for the benefit of all the Sports Visions Nation and all the people that are listening this morning and all the people that will, because, everybody's not going to get up early like us. But the thing we have Facebook, we have, of course, YouTube. We have a multitude of ways to help people that don't want to get up in the morning. They might want to watch it later or whatever. But let's go back in your time, in your childhood. Let's go back to where it all started with you and bring us up to speed so that we can prepare to tell these folks and share with these people that, maybe you'll be an inspiration to some. But, here we talk about professional athletes. We talk about collegiate athletes all the time. And this town and this city and this region reaps with all that talent. But you know what? It goes all the way back to, of course, that point in time where you started growing, when you grew up here in this community.
Right, it did. It started way back, I praise God for having loving parents and sisters and brothers who took care of me as I grew up. And then it started back in also at Mount Olive High School in Fort Mitchell, Alabama, a little county school where we only had a senior class of 43, 23 girls and 20 boys. And we played both ways in sport. Played football, basketball, baseball. After one season, though, we went to another. And actually, to tell you the truth, I started off in the band, and I got recruited out of the band. And I told my band director I was going to play football. Boy, did he have a fit. And but it worked out good for me. And he came back after many, many years and told me, I was mad at you then, but after what you've accomplished, I appreciate what you did. So Coach after Davis. That, we having a successful high school career at Mount Olive High School with great coaches, Coach Isom, Coach Ingersoll, Coach Mays, and all those people, the administration and staff kept us straight and make sure that we were well disciplined, well prepared for the outside world. And as we entered into the world, we were going groomed to be successful, and that was our goal, and that was our drive to do.
Coach Davis, I know that you have, and I'm calling you Coach because that's a part of your resume that I'm sure that we'll get to it eventually because you have been an outstanding coach in this area as well. But as an athlete, as a student athlete growing up in a small town and having the opportunity to play multiple sports, but to leave Columbus, Georgia, and have an opportunity to play at the next level, and of course, in a program so esteemed as Tennessee State University, play for the great John Merritt. Talk about not only that transition, but some of the options that you had, because again, you were a very, very celebrated football player, athlete, period.
Well, it was a big move for me, leaving from the dirt road with a Foot Locker, headed to big Nashville, Tennessee, the big city, the bright lights, the gleam, the glitter. It was a big adjustment for me. But one thing for sure, as long as you had God on your side, how can you lose? So I went there with a determination to give my best the years that I was there. And throughout those years, I kept getting better and better. And the next thing I know, I'm getting ready for the draft. And I had no idea at that time exactly how this story was going to turn out. But it's turned out very good for me. I was able to be a starter for 4 years at Tennessee State University, along with some of the great players that matriculated at Tennessee State. And got an opportunity to meet some very interesting and well-known people along the way.
Yeah, Coach Davis, I was looking at your NFL career, 4 years with the Browns, 2 with the Bengals. In your last year in Cleveland, were you part of that Cardiac Kids group that had that incredible postseason win over the Raiders?
Yes, I was. I was part of the Cardiac Kids. Cardiac Kids, as a matter of fact, they made a movie about it. They had wrote a book about that year. And that was one of those years where everybody on that team did something fantastic at least 2 or 3 times during the year to have a comeback season and a comeback game. Every time that we were behind in every last 2 minutes of the game, the Browns stood up and come back and won the game.
Another outstanding, time during your career is that, and again, this guy is a big San Francisco 49ers fan, but Cincinnati Bengals, when you played with them, and again, you played in the Super Bowl against the 49ers.
Right. That story about that is that I was with the Cleveland Browns and that year, and unfortunately, I was injured, and you know what injuries do to you when you're in that league. Your life, your time becomes very, very short. So because I didn't get healed quick enough, they released me, and I ended up getting picked up by the Cincinnati Bengals that same year. At that time, the Bengals was 0-4, and I had a choice either to go to the Bengals, the Raiders, or one other team I can't remember right now. So I decided to go to the Bengals because Forrest Gregg was there because he was the person that drafted me for the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. So I went down there with him, and he said, "Well, you at home now. I'm gonna take care of you," and he did. And I did my part, and next thing I know, after going 0-4, we went on a 12-game winning streak, and next thing, we up in the Super Bowl. I'm smiling, he's smiling, everybody happy. But unfortunately, we lost to Richard's favorite team, which I'm not very happy with.
Yeah. I do feel it,
Joe Montana and those guys did their thing against us in the last minute, as they usually do it. But we put up a good fight and just came up a little short. But we enjoyed the moments. It's one heck of an experience, I tell you. One heck of an experience.
Well, Oliver, I do hope the Bengals do get a Super Bowl. They got a quarterback, Joe Burrow, but I got to ask you, Chris Collinsworth was a teammate of yours. Does he ever start a conversation with you? Now, here's a guy. Did you know he was going to be an announcer one day? Or was he a personality when he was on your team?
Oh yeah, he was a personality. He was a character, but he was a good character. And I was there his rookie year, and you talking about a guy who was fast. He was a pretty fast dude as a wide receiver, and he was a hustler too. But he was always a talkative guy. He had a lot of energy, but I had no idea he would get into the broadcasting business and do as well as he's done. He's done a great job. I'm proud of him.
Coach Oliver Davis is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show, and he's going into the Tennessee State Athletics Hall of Fame. I tell you what, and there's another Hall of Fame a little bit closer to home that he needs to be considered for as well. But Coach, we have something in common, and I'm gonna go down that road. Well, Forrest Gregg drafted you. He also was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers in 1984 that selected me. But also, I think you might have played with a guy who was my defensive back coach, Ken Riley. Does that name ring a bell?
Kid Riley was my partner there when I got to Cincinnati. We close two HBCU guys, and he went to Florida A&M, and that was one of our rivalry schools. So we had always had a lot to talk about. He'll jab me, and I jab him back about what we did to them and what he'll say what he did to us. But he was a great individual. Rest in peace, Ken Riley, because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Should be in the NFL Hall of Fame as well too. So my big kudos to him. So he was a great person, and he was one of our leaders on the team as well too. So he got an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. I got an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl along with him. But back to the Hall of Fame of Tennessee State University. You know, when I accept this induction ceremony, go to the induction ceremony, I think about the guy who I stood up on the shoulders of. We talk about guys like James Marcellus, Claude Humphrey, Ed Tudor Jones, Jefferson Street Joe Gillum, and a list of guys who really, really paved the way for guys like me, giving me the opportunity to be able to be where I am today.
Absolutely. Jefferson Street Joe Gillum, he wore number 17, and I've been wearing number 17 since I was a small kid, and he was the reason. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers at that particular time before they, of course, bankrupted with Terry Bradshaw. But, that's a tremendous lineage of players that you've had the opportunity and some wonderful history and iconic people that you played with. You talk about Ed Too Tall Jones and Claude Humphreys, but you know what? To us and to these people and in this community, you, Oliver Davis, you are the icon. You are the famous one. You're the Hall of Famer. And again, coming from Mount Olive, and there's some history that maybe a lot of people maybe not know, but I want to give you the opportunity to tell them, because Russell County High School now and Mount Olive High School back in the day, I don't know what the dynamics are, but will you clear that with where Mount Olive went or what happened, the transition?
During that time, my time, we had several high schools in there. There was Mount Olive High School, Russell County High School, Oliver High School, and Shavala High School.
Yeah.
And now they're all those schools combined to come to make Russell County High School, which is one of the premier schools in the state of Alabama. Those facilities down there, and the thing that the Superintendent Cole has done is unbelievable. She's done a fantastic job with the staff that she has, been able to produce a lot of quality people from that county and to go on to be productive into the world today, and they're steady improving. If you ever get a chance to go down there and see the facilities that they have and what they had to offer, not only athletically but academically, you will be very, very pleased and satisfied with what the results you'll see down there.
Yeah, it's a very vast area outside of the Phoenix City limits. I mean, you have Ladonia, you have Crawford, Seal, Pittsview, Fort Mitchell. Where exactly was this high school located? I know that the elementary school that got consolidated and is over at Fort Mitchell?
Well, Mitchell is the intermediate school, which was old Mount Olive High School. Then you have both Oliver and Shavala were next to one another down in Seal, and Russell County High School was in Pittsview, Alabama.
Okay.
And so they're all combined together. And I'll tell you the story now. When I was coaching down there, one of the things we had to do was, if you had to have a team, you had to be able to transport your kids back and forth to home. I had to get my bus driver license. I got my CDL. And I would get out of practice. I would take the kids home and then come back home myself. And most of the time, I didn't get home till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Traveling back and forth, especially on game days. But now that has changed. They have made that more feasible now, where the kids won't have to ride the bus home as often as coach don't have to drive the buses anymore. So now he got more participation. That was the big thing in the county, is getting the participation. If you can't have transportation, you can't have participation.
Absolutely. Coach, we talked a little bit about your athletic career, and obviously it would take a whole show to get on all the accolades, but I want to spill over into some of your background as a coach. And again, let's talk about some of the positions that you've had and of course the schools that you attended. So I'll give you that opportunity now to share with everybody, that long list of schools that you had the opportunity to coach and teach.
I started at Spencer High School as a sub teacher during the off season when I was in the USFL. After the season was over, I would come back and work with my high school coach, Coach Ison. I spent 2 years doing that. Then after I did that, I got into business world. I opened up a baby product store called New Baby Products, and operated for about 20 years. And all I did was move cribs left and right. Most of the community in this city probably had got one of my cribs sitting up in the garage somewhere laid up right now. But after I did that for several years, we got back into the coaching and teaching in the education field and went to Stewart Equipment High School down there in Lumpkin, Georgia. And went down there, was very successful down there. The team had lost about 30 some games in a row, and we turned that program around with one of my buddies called Donald Stroy.
Yes,
you know Donald Stroy as well.
Yes, sir.
So after my 2 years there, I wanted to get back into the Columbus area, close to home, and I got fortunate to get hired by Muscogee County School District at Kendrick High School. I spent 10 years. I spent 10 years at Kendrick High School, where I had some fantastic kids there. It could have been a better group of kids there at Kendrick High School who really worked hard for me. I became the athletic director, head football coach, head track coach. Sometimes I even became the cheerleader coach one time. And I also had to be coach basketball as well. So I did the whole gamut the whole year. I worked, almost year round from one season to another. Then after that, I left and went to Russell County High School, back to my home school. I wanted to go back to my county, my high school area, where I was raised up at, and to share with them the type of experience and the knowledge that I had, and to let them know that they can make it and do it as well as I could. If I could do it, they could do it too. And I wanted to show that to them by an example and about good hard work and what good hard work and a smart worker do for you. It can't be productive. Spending 5 years at Russell County High School, I came back to Spencer High School and worked at Spencer High School. At that time, I think they had lost about 40 games in a row, and I turned that program around and gave them a successful season. They had started with four wins, one match, but it was better than 0 and 10. Then after I left Spencer, I went to Fort Miller School, and I had a great success. And I was, very fortunate to have some great administrators at each one of the individual schools that I went to that, stood in my corner and saw what I was all about. And that was to be all about the kids. If it ain't about the kids, then you're in for the wrong reason. So I retired there after leaving Fort Mill School, and all I do now is golf and fish and try to relax. And you see that bright sun coming up behind my head, and I got a view for everyone.
Coach Davis, your alma mater plays Georgia week 1. What do you look forward to when you're watching this game? Obviously, you're rooting for your alma mater, but I know that the big picture is try to win an Ohio Valley Conference championship, try to see go far in the FCS playoffs. But these FCS schools end up playing these Power 4 conferences. It might go away because if they expand the college football playoff. But typically, when you're playing like a FBS school like Georgia, what do you take away when you're watching this game?
Well, the thing you want to take away is that can you really play at that high level consistently, because you're dealing with athletes that are all basically 4 or 5 chippers. And most of those HBCUs do not have as many blue chip as those SEC schools. So the thing that you want to do is can your guys compete, and then you take to see exactly what kind of team you really have. And if you can come out of that game without many injuries and be able to be healthy enough to play for the next game, then you gain the experience of knowing that, hey, this is where we stand. This is what I need to correct. This is what I need to do. It's a great learning experience and opportunity for those individual kids to see what it is to play at a big university against a big university like that.
Richard, I'm glad you asked that question. And, Coach, I wanted to follow up with this. And, again, I'm torn. And we have an HBCU segment that we do when the season comes on with, obviously, another one of our homeboys, Morehouse grad, Tim Turner. However, we talk about it in tongue in cheek. And, for my sake, you talked about the level of competition. You talked about the blue chippers and the 4 and 5 stars that obviously the University of Georgia and all the SEC schools have versus Tennessee State. Tennessee State is a powerhouse in its own right. But, it's just not the balance there. I don't know if the check that they get is enough money for the sacrifice of these kids' safety. And again, and you played the game at every level, but a check for $500,000 or $750 or whatever it is not enough money for me to, of course, obviously the exposure that you'll get, but the risk that you're taking with those young men, and in my humble opinion, isn't worth it.
Yeah, I agree that the money that they're receiving is only a fraction of what they should get.
That's right.
Only a fraction. Mm-hmm. And of course, you want to be in good health if they need it, but you don't want to come to that. But I would love to see them give them 3 times or 4 times more than what they're receiving for the effort that they're doing out of this game.
Absolutely. Let's go back in your career. And again, we talked about you as an outstanding high school player, you as an outstanding collegiate player, and of course, an outstanding pro. But when we talk about Oliver Davis, when you get an opportunity to go up to that podium and get up to the microphone, and when you give, that speech, what will flash across your mind, and what would you say to the Sports Vision Nation at this time? Now, I know that you got time to put your speech together and all, but right now, as I ask you this question, what flashes in your mind?
Blessed, man, just blessed. Having the opportunity to know that I've had people praying for me, as well as I was praying for them, to have that security blanket, knowing that God is always by my side. They always say if you put it in God's hand, God would always have his hands on it. And when that is taking place, you just do what you do best and give your best. Don't take anything for granted. Work hard. Depend on people who know that you can rely on, and just know the difference between the two. Make good decisions. That's the big thing too. Make good decisions, because there's a lot of decisions going to be made, and you hope that you make the right decision all the time. Sometimes you're going to make a bad mistake, but you got to be able to overcome those mistakes, because they're going to happen. If you ever can learn the power to overcome your mistakes and move on to get better, then you got opportunity to be highly successful.
Coach Davis, congratulations again. I was looking at some of the former players at Tennessee State, and we've had some greats, including on this Sports Vision morning show, like Richard Dent. Ed Too Tall Jones comes to mind. Dominique Rogers' camaraderie. What does that mean to you to be inducted into the Tennessee State University Athletic Hall of Fame with these other Tennessee State greats?
That feel awesome, man. It really do feel awesome. It's unimaginable, considering where I came from, to be in the midst and the surrounding of those names and those guys. It's just telling me that I really come a long way, and I'm greatly appreciated and will never take it for granted. I'm humble in all kinds of ways.
Tennessee State University's Hall of Famer himself going to be inducted here. When is the ceremony, Coach?
The ceremony is this coming Thursday. I'm pulling out tonight and get a chance to play a little golf on Thursday and Friday with the rest of my teammates and some of the Jackson State players whom we're playing this Saturday. But the ceremony is going to go down on Thursday night at 6 o'clock in Nissan Stadium. And, of course, we're going to be done introduced at halftime of the football game.
Coach Davis, with all that you've done, you're still a servant leader in this community, and I commend you for all that you do with your friends out there. Monk Johnson and Otis Sistrunk, you guys have a tremendous network, and you have tremendous reach and tremendous love for the kids in the community. But knowing that all the lives that you've touched as a coach, and you made mention of all the schools and middle schools that you've been to, what are you most proud of?
I still hear from some of my students who I coach over the years. And they'll tell me about how I changed their life. I think that's the most important thing for me. That I was able to touch them, to give them the right direction to go into.
The last thing I have for you, Coach, is that obviously there's some young coaches that are listening. There's parents that are listening right now. There's young student athletes that are listening. There's other leaders in our community that are listening right now. With all the greatness that has been afforded and you've been blessed with, from a student athlete to, again, going on and reaching the pros, and even the coaching career that you've had a tremendous hand in, of course. What do you say to the young coaches that obviously aspire to be the next leaders in this community?
I would say take care of your kids. I mean, take care of your players. Put them first. Treat them as they were your own kids. Safety first, but teach them to be challenging and to be forthgoing and to always look at the big picture. It's not just about you, but the big picture is to be successful and to help somebody else out as somebody helped you out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's the Tennessee State University Sports Hall of Famer, Coach Oliver Davis. Hey, man, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your morning, Coach.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much, DJ Jones. Richard, I appreciate you. You hit me with that T.I. song again, I'll be very happy.
All right, man. Hey, man, thank you so much, and look, good luck on Thursday, man. I tell you what, I hope you don't break down at the podium.
It's going to be rough, man. It's going to be rough.
All right, that's Coach Oliver Davis, man. What a great guy, man. Tremendous guy.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sportsvisions 92.1.
Golden Donut, a family-owned bakery, has been serving freshly made donuts, pastries, and breakfast favorites since their doors first opened. The aroma of their made-from-scratch treats and freshly brewed coffee creates the perfect warm, inviting atmosphere. Golden Donut, where every bite is a taste of homemade happiness.
Attorney Advertising, Georgia Attorney Blake Swan, 3225 Cumberland Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia, 4046-204-059. Paid actor dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
Do you know what you would do if that dog is chasing you? Do you know what you would do if that dog bites you? Would you go and run and tell? Would you cry out for some help? What would you do if that dog bites you? Have you ever heard his name? Top Dog is his name. Have you heard of what he do? Accidents is what he do. When you really need a dog, that is who you should call. Call the dog. Call the dog. Any accident, big or small, you make the call. You call the dog. Top Dog Law.
Buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil and get 2 times O Rewards points, plus a $10 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let's have some straight talk. Are you sick of being trapped in a title pawn or just need a loan? Call 1-800-NEW-RATE. If you're in a title pawn trap, we can get you out. We save you thousands in interest. We lower your payments, possibly cut your payments in half, and you get up to $1,000 in extra cash. That's $1,000 extra cash, and your first payment's not due for up to 45 days. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. It's fast, it's easy, and you can get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Do you need to pay off that high-interest title pawn loan? Then call right now to 1-800-899-6669. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. Did I mention you can get up to $1,000 in extra cash? That's 1-800-NEW-RATE. Get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Call now to 1-800-899-6669. Motors Acceptance Corporation. Doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you have a copy of your DD-214? A DD-214 is a DoD certificate of retirement, separation, or discharge from active duty. It verifies your eligibility for benefits and services. The fastest way to request a copy is through the National Archives and Records Administration at archives.gov. Get the benefits you've earned. This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. VA disability compensation is a monthly tax-free payment to veterans who got sick or injured in the military and to veterans whose service worsened an existing condition. You may qualify for VA disability compensation for physical and mental health conditions that developed or worsened due to service. Learn more at va.gov/disability.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1, the only live and local sports morning show. It's the Sports Visions Morning Show with Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer on Sports Visions 92.1.
You know I'm hopping with the D-R-E.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's a flashback Friday kind of day. Richie, what you got?
I got Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. Man, this beat, man, I was in college when this came out. This was the song every kid was bumping.
Man, I tell you what, you never cease to amaze me with all of your music knowledge and background, man. You don't look the part. You look like you are more of a, not heavy metal, but you are all genres. But what throws me over the top with you is that you do have all of this gangster rap in your repertoire. Yeah. You got, obviously, I don't know if that's a West Coast thing from where you're from, or that's just over your travels. You just been able to gravitate towards different music.
Well, this is my opinion. Greatest duo of all time, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Wow.
More than Nate Dogg and Warren G, Eric B. and Rakim. There's been some great duos. This is the greatest duo of all time. Anytime these two are together, it's just hit after hit after hit. It's been incredible.
Yeah, but you gotta love your group out of San Francisco, or at least the Golden Gate area. Was that 8-Ball and MJG?
8-Ball and actually they're from Memphis.
Memphis, yeah. Why do I keep thinking that they're from the West Coast?
I don't know.
I say that all the time, and I don't know why I affiliate those guys with you. Maybe when you first, I think, came on the scene, I think you had a little something to say about
maybe E40 and the Click.
All of that.
The thing is, Master P is from New Orleans. He's actually from Richmond. When I first heard Master P, the album West Coast Bad Boys was like, it hit after hit. He had like some of the West Coast rappers. And I remember when I was a kid, I couldn't buy it from Tower Records because they had a print advisory sticker on it, but that's okay.
Big shout out to Rodney Lawrence. He says that's an awesome interview with Coach Oliver Davis. Congratulations on your induction into the Tennessee State Hall of Fame. And I tell you, man, it's a treat to have Coach Oliver Davis, man, again, he's a silent, actually a kind of a quiet guy in terms of, most coaches are, usually on the scene and don't have a problem picking up the mic or stepping in front of a crowd. But you know what? He could enter a room and you never know he was there, much less all of the things that he's been able to accomplish, playing in the Super Bowl, being drafted into the NFL, being a black college All-American at Tennessee State. You just would not expect him, even right now. We have a cigar bar that we go to called Friends. And sometimes, I'll occasionally pop in. And many times, Coach will be sitting over in the corner just with his stick and his cold drink, man. And unless I approached him, and many people, he'll just be sitting over there chilling. And that's the great thing, I guess, about not only being a success, but being at peace. And again, having a guy that, and he just mixes it up with everybody, and everybody's loves him. And again, the work that he does, and that's the other part of it, the work that he does in the community that nobody knows about with the kids and raising money for, the underprivileged. He's a servant leader, and he teamed up with Monk Johnson and Otis Sistrunk, and I'm sure that there are others, but those two are usually with him when they're doing anything dealing with, for the good of the kids, man. But that's a dynamic trio. These guys should be commended for what they do. But obviously, Oliver Davis is well loved and liked here in this community. And I just took it as a privilege to have the opportunity to present him and, of course, share his induction into the Tennessee State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well deserved, and he's just really been a staple in this community for his playing time, and then his time in coaching and administration. And I tell you, anytime you have somebody like that in the community, it's always good just to hear his story and just have those conversations. And those conversations are very unique. And you sitting around and just talking about shop. It's just I just would love to be a fly on the wall just to hear those conversations that they've had.
Well, we're talking Tennessee State University and Oliver Davis and being a black college All-American. Man, I tell you what, we are excited that it's football season, and of course Tim Turner, who will be with us a little bit later in the show. He is one of our very own. He's our insider as far as HBCUs, and The top rankings in the 2026 preseason polls, I might as well go ahead and throw them out there right now. South Carolina State is ranked number 1, Prairie View number 2, Albany State, which is right down the road, number 3, Jackson State number 4, North Carolina Central number 5. And I tell you what, Richard, I know you take great pride on matching your wit with Tim and during the football season in the HBCUs. And a lot of people, again, as they don't know that you actually you take great pride in keeping up with the HBCUs.
Oh, yeah, DJ. I do my homework every time I know Tim Turner is going to be a guest. In fact, Albany State taking on Florida A&M to start the season. We got an NCAA Division II team taking on an FCS team. So many great HBCU games in that week 1. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. I know that we do have some others. I mean, there's a big game that's going to be up in Atlanta. I don't know if is it Southern and Alabama State that's going to be? No, that's actually going to be at Legion Field. Southern and Alabama State. So Marshall Faulk at Southern, and then Alabama State, the success they have had, that's going to be another one. And I'm looking forward to going through the HBCU schedule and talking about our local teams like Tuskegee, Fort Valley, and Albany State. And it's always a treat every time Tim Turner comes on the show, talk HBCU football.
Absolutely. And, of course, those schools right there in Atlanta, right up the highway here, of course, between Morehouse and Clark, Atlanta. I mean, it's a plethora of schools that obviously from our historically black college lineup that we will be highlighting during the season. And, again, Tim Turner is a guy that was born and raised here, believe it or not. He also was an outstanding dual sports star at Columbus High School, baseball and football. Ended up going on to Morehouse on scholarship, and of course having the opportunity to be an all-conference player in baseball as well as football there. But the many cities and he traveled and worked from as a journalist, a sports writer, that's the most impressive to me, with, of course, being in Jackson, Mississippi, and of course out in Texas. I think it was Houston or Dallas or something, but he's been in and around a lot of different markets. And we're just proud to have him. We're very fortunate to have him, of course, being, so well-traveled.
Yeah, DJ, I do want to correct myself. The MEAC SWAC kickoff challenge is in Atlanta this tomorrow, actually. Alabama A&M taking on Howard. Those are the two teams. Alabama
A&M taking on Howard. So, again, here's another local game, actually tonight. The Heritage Bowl will be at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. We are looking forward to it. People will be in town from all over the country. This is a huge game. This atmosphere is different. Everybody that you talk to that had the opportunity to experience the Heritage Bowl, Richard, they just talk about how different this game is. The tailgating is different. The fellowshipping is different. The game is different. The company, it doesn't matter what the records are. And, in most major rivalries, these teams find a way to get it up. But, the heritage and the tradition of this game was started by one man and one man only. And we had a nice we got a piece we're going to play here in just a second from BT Folks, who is the iconic founder and pioneer of both football programs. A lot of people didn't realize that BT Folks started the program at a football program for Spencer High School and as well as Carver High School. Mm-hmm. And I want Ben to, of course, bless you guys with his presentation that, again, it just blows me away. And I think that it's so powerful and it'll be around. And anybody that hears this, I think you should share it. You should definitely, I mean, it's bigger than just the alumni of Carver and Spencer because of the family ties to this community. But if you will, let's go ahead and tee him up.
As we enter into Heritage Bowl Week, the annual showdown between the Spencer Green Wave and the Carver Tigers, I want to share some amazing local history that no one will be talking about, honoring the man who established both programs at the very beginning of both schools' opening. When you talk about the culture of Columbus, Georgia, you cannot speak on pride, discipline, or Friday night gridiron royalty without calling the name Booker T. Folks. They knew him simply as BT. They revered him as the father of black football in the Chattahoochee Valley. Long before the stadium lights lit up this classic rivalry, Coach Folks was laying the foundation. In 1945, he became a charter member of the Lambda Iota chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. When he stepped between those white lines, manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift were not just words on a charter. They were the law of the land. In 1930, when the historic William Henry Spencer High School opened its doors on 10th Avenue, Coach Folks took the field, launched the football program, and personally gave the team its identity, the Spencer Green Wave. He led the Green Wave for 7 seasons, winning Georgia state championships in 1931 and 1933. And in that magical 1933 season, he led Spencer to an undefeated record, defeated Austin High School, and brought home the undisputed Black High School National Championship. Then in 1954, when George Washington Carver opened its doors, Coach Folks answered the call once again. He took the reins, built the Carver football program from the ground up, and planted dreams before the city ever saw the harvest. He taught those young men how to block, how to tackle, and how to win. But more importantly, he taught them how to stand flat-footed, hold their heads high, and command respect in a world that was not ready to give it easily. Between launching the Spencer and Carver programs, Coach Folks' magic touched every corner of the gridiron. In 1943, he laid the foundation for the football program at Radcliffe High School, proving his championship blueprint worked anywhere by delivering a 9-1 Georgia State championship season in 1947. Across 15 legendary head coaching seasons, the receipts do not lie: 64 wins, 26 losses, and 8 ties. Coach Folks was not just building athletes. He was building students and citizens. He was a dedicated science teacher who was named Carver's Teacher of the Year in 1961. He crossed lines to uplift everyone, serving as athletic trainer for the professional Columbus Cardinals baseball club, supporting Jordan High School football, and commanding the field as a master rules authority through the Southern Intercollegiate Officials Association and the GIA. In 1964, Coach Folks took that exact blueprint of excellence off the field and into the front office of Marshall Junior High School as its principal. That same year, as the brand new principal taking the helm at Marshall, Principal Folks made a decision that forever changed my own family's destiny. As a new leader building his faculty, Principal Folks hired my mother for her first teaching position in Columbus. And his mentorship did not stop there. He was the man who opened the door, handed over the whistle, and launched my father into his career as a high school football official. His footprint was on every single cornerstone of this city. It was in the science lab. It was on the sidelines. It was in the principal's office. And at First African Baptist Church, as a dedicated deacon and choir member, his spiritual walk was just as tall, where I grew up in those historic pews and proudly raised my voice in the BT Folks Choir. Some people coach teams. Booker T. Folks built a culture. His lifetime of excellence was permanently etched into history with his induction into the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame. So this week, when the Green Wave and the Tigers clash for city supremacy, when the bands shake the bleachers, the cheerleaders ignite the crowd, and both alumni bases roar with 4 generations of unvarnished pride, take a moment to look at the cornerstone beneath our feet. He did not just coach the game. He built both houses, a builder of institutions, a molder of men, a champion of our people. Booker T. Folks, the original foundation of Heritage Bowl Week. Now, I know the entire Chattahoochee Valley is split right down the middle this week. Green Wave Nation and Carver Tigers, I want to hear from you right now in the comments. Drop your school and graduating class and let us know who is taking home the crown this year. Are we bleeding green and gold, or is it crimson and Columbia blue all day? Drop those school colors, show that legacy pride, and let us know who runs Columbus.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. By the end of September, Jacksonville, Florida-based company Duos Edge will operate a small data center at the number 8 Corporate Ridge, which was once a TSYS data center. The CEO of Duos Edge says they were to revitalize buildings that once were data centers. The company provides computing and data space to a wide range of end users, and no single customer will utilize the facility. Georgia gubernatorial Democratic candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms visited Columbus Thursday for her meet and greet hosted by the Greater Columbus Chamber of Commerce. Here, voters were able to hear her goals for the state, similar to the meet and greet held earlier this month for Republican nominee Rick Mark Jackson. And nationally, Congress is launching an investigation into flock cameras. The license plate readers that are said to be helpful law enforcement tools are being investigated for data and privacy concerns. Republicans and Democrats agree there needs to be some guardrails, as there have been reports of misuse across the country. Flock says they will respond to questions raised and provide content about safeguards built into the platform. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings.
Good Friday morning. We are waking up to clouds, humidity, and a few showers and storms across the region. We continue to track a stalled front that will keep rain chances through the day, with highs staying in the upper 80s this afternoon. A few storms this evening could cause delays for Friday night football, so keep an eye on the sky. And this weekend brings more isolated showers and thunderstorms to the region, with more sun and hotter temperatures returning next week in that extended forecast.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sportsvisions 92.1.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same-day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same-day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Save 20% at Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. And suddenly, your home's a fall destination. You start greeting guests like they're checking into a bed and breakfast, offering foliage tours of the new throw on the couch, and suggesting local attractions like your Martha Stewart Dutch oven. Save on fall prep and more at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. 5 stars. Would shop again. Select styles. Offer ends August 30th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions morning show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions morning show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge is in the building. Richie, I like that song. Let's just groove with that a little bit. Because I see some people there, as they're brushing their teeth, as they're getting into the car, or they're packing their lunch. They're kind of bobbing their head a little bit here because it's so smooth. And they know that it's Friday and the weekend is in front of them.
Yeah, anytime I could play Maxwell, who's a timeless artist. I mean, he's got some classics that you can't tell what year this came out, because this sounds like something that could have came out in the 80s.
Yes.
It could have came out in the 70s. That's what I love about Maxwell.
Absolutely. TGIF, baby. Thank God it's Friday. Get your head out of bed. Man, I tell you, we're up and at 'em and we're rocking and rolling. Big shout out to, of course, all the folks that have, of course, been joining us this morning. We have a nice crew that's in the front row of the Sports Visions morning show, and we definitely appreciate you. And guess we wouldn't have it any other way, Rich.
Yeah, where else are you going to get a local sports talk radio 5 days a week, 6 to 9, getting your day started, whether you're taking the kids to school or you're in that long line trying to get on the military base.
Also, absolutely. Big shout out to, of course, the kickoff 4 calls last night, folks. If you guys weren't with us earlier in the show, we were just talking about how much fun we had, how much good and how much the calls, great the cause was, and how much money we raised. It was unbelievable. We had a time. What a time. Great food, great fellowship. Just a great experience on behalf of Twin Cedars. Kickoff 4 calls at the Cunningham Center up on the campus of Columbus State University.
Yeah, they raised their money. They got their goal. Actually, they exceeded their goal. And it was a great atmosphere, just great food, silent auction. A.J. Robinson was doing his thing, giving us the national anthem and a little performance between your quarters, because you guys actually did it very well. Saw the script where we have first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, and fourth quarter. And it was just an incredible night. They had the games up on the screen and just talking to the people that just getting back into the festivities of college football as it is week 0 this weekend.
Some of your favorite mascots were in attendance. I know that Hawks, CSU, the Columbus Clinkstones, to name a few. I mean, they had, of course, just a plethora.
Freddie the Falcon.
A plethora of mascots, and to help us get into that frame of mind, because we are right here at the kickoff of football season, and Kickoff with a Cause officially kicks off college football season here in the Chattahoochee Valley. And again, Kim Rozicki, shout out to her and her staff and her crew for, again, putting on a wonderful show. Big shout out to Dave Platter. He and I hosted it. And again, Dave and I, this is our 4th year.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to shout out Dave and you as well, because of you last night were responsible for streaming the show and getting it up on Sportsvisions TV, radio, magazine. And of course, if you want to go back and see that stream, Richard, I guess the technicalities of folks, just pulling it up, maybe you need to go into little details, tell them if they want to see how everything went last night.
Yeah, just go to either the Sportsvisions Facebook page or YouTube channel and look for the event Kickoff for a Cause 2026. You should be able to see the entire replay of Kickoff for a Cause from start to finish. They're streaming everything all the way up until the very end. And so, yeah, if you want to check it out, like if you were in attendance and you wanted to see how that production went, if you were like one of the top fans, just panning at them and they were waving. Some of them even did a cheer routine. I mean, it was their night. It was their time to shine. I love when the top fans, the spotlight's on them. You and Dave do a great job hyping up their school, hyping up, who they are. And I think that, that's great that they could go back into the broadcast and watch themselves later.
I was interested to find out, if you didn't have, because you were producing the show. We had a couple of sets of mics. We had a couple of streaming mics, and then we had the house mics.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're talking, and again, so you didn't catch us saying anything bad that we shouldn't have said.
No, you guys didn't say anything bad, but I learned on my mixer to turn that down. And really, those house mics, they pick up, like, even if those mics were like 10 feet from you, it'd still get the show on the stream.
Good deal. So I just want to make sure that I was on my best behavior, because not that I have potty mouth.
You were fine, DJ.
Good. That's always good. It always is good. Hey, look, coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to hear from another great guy. And we were talking Black college football. We were talking about Tim Turner.
Yep.
But we'll actually give you an opportunity to hear from Tim Turner. And many of you who haven't met him, you'll see it's a perfect opportunity for you to meet him as well. Also, a little bit later in the show, Scott Williams. And, we go behind the scenes. We pride ourselves here at the Sports Visions Morning Show in being able to peel back the layers and doing a little teaching. And again, I don't think that we've seen this anywhere on television, anywhere in radio, that you have an official of Scott's, height, with the being the director of digital sales with the SEC Network, to actually talk about, the business side of the ESPN, or at least, the SEC Network, and the games that they do, all the thought that's put into what they do, the talent, the production. This is a real steal. And again, what I have known as well is that over the years, as we've come to interview different sports writers and different experts in their field of expertise in athletics, the folks up the road up there, as big as they are, and as many people and as much production, they're starting to do knockoffs of that. I'm saying, with Chad Bishop, who was our beat writer, that we always have talked to even back when he was with Georgia Tech and now with the Braves. I'm starting to see a big kick in his appearances on these shows now, and others, man, that people, it's amazing. And again, being a trendsetter is not that bad, Richie, because that's what I look at it. You don't get upset. There's nothing you can do. People see things that they like, and I just take it as a badge of courage when I know that prior to someone taking advantage of talking to these experts in all of their field of human endeavors in athletics, that the bigger cities and the bigger stations, the ones that are way bigger than us, they've just followed suit. So that's like, hey, man, that's great. That's great for the people, and that's what's most important, because not only did these talking heads give them an opportunity to hear from the experts and not so much as their opinions, it's just a good thing. And that's what I always said. I don't know all things in the universe, as my wife likes to say. We don't know all things in the universe, Richie, but we certainly know how to put people or get people on our show to expound to our Sports Visions Nation, because that's what's most important to us, getting the truth and the facts of the matters to our Sports Visions Nation.
Yeah, that's a great point, DJ. And I take lessons from that. I learn how to carry myself where I want to be all things to all people. I don't want to burn bridges. I don't want to have those relationships shattered because of ego. And we're all a team. We all have one common goal to really shine the light on these incredible student athlete sports stories in our area. And we just, at the end of the day, we all just have to come to the table and say, hey, we all have a common goal. Let's all at least be cordial to each other. We don't have to give each other inside information. So, oh, guess what? We're doing this on the broadcast. Oh, just a heads up. No, not that, because we're still a competitor. I'm a competitive guy.
Right.
We are all competitors, but at least be nice to each other.
Oh, yeah.
I am a guy that wants to just be nice. I don't have any beef with anybody. I want to throw that out there. If anybody has any beef with me, well, that's a you problem. like Colin Cowherd says. I don't have any beef with anybody. I'm just going to do what I do because I just love sports.
Absolutely. And Richard, you know as well as I do, you've been on this earth, 40 plus years. And, I don't give a damn if you were handing out $100 bills at the busiest intersection in Columbus, Georgia. It's going to be some SOB is going to pull up and say, that's all you're going to give me? I mean, you can't keep everybody happy. I'm talking about literally handing $100 bills to everybody that stops, and it's going to be somebody that's upset. So I say that to say, listen, as long as you're true to yourself, as long as you're being fair, and as long as you're treating people like you want to be treated, you have a good heart and you have your faith in this higher power, whatever that may be. That's all that matters, man. And
that's all that matters.
Because again, what you eat, I might not eat, but what you drink, I might not drink. But what you believe in, I might not believe in it. But the bottom line is keeping it professional, especially those of us that are colleagues in this business, as in the radio business, TV business, in the sports media, whether it's in Columbus, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever major event that we will cover.
DJ, when I was in the military, I had a philosophy I lived by, and I made sure that I had good relationships in the military. Be nice to your lieutenants, those lieutenants that just got commissioned, that get assigned to your unit, and they're now platoon leaders, because you never know. They might end up becoming your company commander one day.
And don't get it twisted. You could be nice to people and they just not like you. They don't even. Here's my thing. And again, I understand that. I can deal with that. But most of the people, or some of the people that don't like you, or so-called don't want to, can't stand you, they don't even know you. They haven't had a cup of coffee. They hadn't had a meal. They hadn't sat down. They just are going by what they perceive. And sometimes perception is like my dad used to say, is like having. I ain't going to talk about that. But I don't think it's legal to say that. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, just treat people like you want to be treated. And again, do your thing, be professional, and whatever, because again, whatever you do, what makes you happy, that's all that matters. And regardless, as long as you're not hurting anybody, hey, it's good with me.
Yeah, just be happy. Don't step on toes. Don't stab people in the back. Don't go behind their back and talk bad about them. I think that stuff is petty, and we need to just put that aside. I can't stand the pettiness. Like, if I mess up on a broadcast and they bring it up, something that happened maybe 3 years ago, is like, hey, Richard, you remember back in 2022 when you messed up that player's name? Come on, man.
Yeah, I tell you. But, we're going off on the deep end for a reason, because obviously, we're doing a little preaching. We're talking to you, subconsciously, whether we're talking directly to you or whether we're it's going over your head. But those of you who are supposed to hear this are supposed to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to tell you what, and I know I'm changing the subject here. I know the Heritage Bowl, I'm excited to be on the sideline. It's going to be my first Heritage Bowl, but we do have a lot of other games around the area.
Yes, we do. We do. But let me do this before you start those. But because, again, Shaw is 2-0 now. They were able to win yesterday. Kendrick as well got they beat Hardaway, got their first victory of the season. And Smith Station lost to Percy Julian.
Yeah, and another team that Opelika ended up losing to Hoover 21-7. Not a whole lot of Thursday night football games, but we got a busy slate of Friday games in the area. A lot of our private schools have home games. Glenwood, Pacelli,
that's going to be
Calvary.
Huge. Actually, Glenwood and Brookstone. Oh my God,
that's going to be a big game. Pacelli's taking on Dadeville. Calvary's taking on Flint River. And, of course, the game of the week is the Heritage Bowl. We will have 4 games tonight on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, Tim Turner will be on the scene on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
Happy 40th anniversary to Gills Auto Sales. This will be a year-long celebration with inventory and deals like you haven't seen in a long time. Every lot in Gills' lineup is stocked with a car, truck, or SUV that you've been dreaming about. Hey, want to save more than ever before on the vehicle of your dreams during the 40th anniversary celebration? You gotta get to Gills.
Ulta's 21 plus days of beauty event is here now through September 17th. Find 50% off daily beauty steals from brands like Lancome and Peach & Lily. Save big on weekly beauty steals from fall faves like Moroccan Oil and Live Tinted. Plus, discover new must-haves from Tarte and Sol de Janeiro. Get all these favorites and more from over 250 beauty steals. New season, new steals, new favorites. Shop in-store, online, or try store pickup today. While supplies last, conditions apply. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play. That my worth isn't determined by my performance. That even on my worst day, I am worthy. That you see me learning, growing, and doing my best. And that is enough.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. Getting a pass is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app. This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you know veterans enrolled in VA healthcare can use over 4,000 urgent care locations across the country to treat non-life-threatening conditions? It's easy and free. Just show your Veteran Health ID card. Get the best care for veterans. Sign up at va.gov or visit your nearest VA medical center.
Covering local and national sports. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Tim Turner, good morning. How you doing, bud?
Good morning. How you doing, DJ and Thrift? I'm
really good.
Richard. I
Yeah,
got
Richard.
all excited. Richard, I heard you talking about me forever and a day before the show started, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Please don't embarrass me this morning, knowing more about the HBCUs than I do.
No, I promise I won't. It's great to see you, Tim.
He said it's great to see you, Tim. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Listen, Tim, I know, first of all, before we get into the heavy lifting, obviously, have you had an opportunity to enjoy yourself this summer? I mean, have you traveled abroad? I know that you're in one of the busiest airports, in the United States, in America, in the world, but have you had a chance to go abroad or do your thing, your vacation thing?
I haven't done a whole lot this summer. Not this year. I've had some family things that were going on, so I was taking care of that. But I feel like I've traveled the world because the past year, you guys already touched on it. For the past maybe 2 years, actually, we've been leading up to the World Cup, and so it's over now, and everybody can exhale and just look back on it, and really be proud of the city of Atlanta and its participation in that worldwide event.
You've seen a lot of people coming and going, man, and I know, and for the folks that don't know out there, you might want to let them know what you do for a living today, the reason why you do have this front row seat to seeing all of this interaction.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in public relations at Hartsfield-Jackson, the airport. So, a lot of times if you guys are going through there through the domestic terminal, my office is there on the 4th floor. And if you're standing in one of those, lines during the holidays, and I'm looking down and looking at you guys and shaking your head, because you didn't heed the warning to get there 3 hours in advance, or international 2 hours in advance for your domestic flight. But I'm not going to get on people about that. But yeah, I work in PR there. I do a lot of work just promoting the airport and what it does. My primary part of my job is doing approving or rejecting ideas for filming and photography there at the airport. So already this year, Atlanta's airport has been in 4 different television and movie projects. Only once was it Atlanta, because the other times it was the airport for Metropolis. Another time it was JFK, and another time it was Tulsa International. So I enjoy what I'm doing there and getting ready to just to put the best foot forward there for the airport.
One other thing before we get started here, and for Richard Todd, we turn Richard loose on you. Hey, what is, with all the intriguing happenings, all the traveling, and of course with the World Cup in this, what was the most intriguing thought or thing that happened that sticks out in your mind? And I know it might be several, but for you, you're in the airport, and that's what you do. Share with us one of the most intriguing stories of the summer that you've experienced.
Intriguing, just the idea that the world comes to the city, and there was a run on, I think, ranch dressing in Atlanta, or it might have been national, but the people that came to town fell in love with ranch dressing. People that came to town fell in love with Southern food, Southern cuisine. I've been to Europe. The food is bland. They come over here, they see flavor. They taste flavor. They know what it's like, especially in a town like Atlanta. When they found out where the ribs places were, they did not act. So that was the thing that was really great about it, just seeing how people can come together as a community for at least, I guess like 8 weeks, and everybody get behind a united effort. So it was really great to see that, and to see visitors from around the world go back home with a really positive look at the United States and Atlanta.
Tim, if you could compare the visitors that came to Atlanta for the 8 World Cup matches compared to the 96 Olympics, what was the difference?
Well, the Olympics there was a lot more travel, a lot more congestion. For whatever reason, and there are probably a number of variables, there wasn't the crowd that people expected here. That was a thing. They said, going into it, the World Cup was going to be equivalent of 8 Super Bowls, the traffic that would come in here. And essentially we have for those 8 matches for that whole period, it would be essentially like dropping Nashville inside of Atlanta. Well, That wasn't the case. You probably dropped Midland into Atlanta. But it really wasn't that big of a crowd. Those crowds were not there. People who are looking for the Airbnb money, the restaurants that popped up downtown. A lot of that didn't happen. And that was surprising because I've only done one Super Bowl here, and that was in 2019 when the traffic at the airport. And that one Super Bowl in 2019 by far exceeded the traffic coming in and out of the airport, even for those number of days, that week leading up to it. And with the Super Bowl coming back in 2 years, I look forward to another big push of people. Plus, this place is just rife with championships everywhere. So we always get huge crowds for these special events. And for those special events and that kind of thing, it wasn't comparable.
Tim, being a novice soccer fan as I am, and again, I have to, with all transparency, when they say the World Cup was coming to, of course, the United States, I automatically assumed that everything was going to be in Atlanta. Now, I know that wasn't physically possible because you had to have the other venues around the country. But it's in my little infinite wisdom and in my little nugget, I just thought that everybody was going to, Atlanta was the headquarters, the central place, and that's where all the matches were going to be. And that probably, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that thought that way.
Oh, you're right. Even the people who worked it, I mean, to me, I was surprised. There was only one team that made Atlanta its home base, and that was Uzbekistan, and they weren't here for long. So because they were in and out. Spain, I think, flew into here, but their base was in Chattanooga for some reason. So you got teams that people, because they moved around so much. I think Argentina came in here twice. England came in here twice. But nobody really made this place a home base. Nobody stayed here for the duration of the tournament, which was something we pretty much were expecting.
Yeah, Tim, before this World Cup even started, I was looking at affordable tickets. Is there a ticket that, is easy to get? Morocco, Haiti was like maybe $200 was the cheapest ticket. But like when you got into Spain and then when you get into the knockout stage, those tickets were up in the 5,000-6,000 for the cheapest ticket. Just talk about, we know that, Spain had a lot of visitors. England had a lot of visitors. But when I was up in Atlanta in June, I talked to some people from Haiti. It was an incredible experience for them. The guy was showing me pictures on his phone about the match that he went to when Haiti took on Morocco. Talk about those smaller countries like Uzbekistan, like Czechia, South Africa, that they got to experience the World Cup, and it was just an experience of a lifetime.
Oh, absolutely, it was. And they were like, I think it was at Cape Verde.
Cape Verde. That was a story.
Like 0-0. There was like even a no score was an upset. The first match that was played here in Atlanta, and they were like pretty much the darlings of it. And seeing those folks around town and giving people directions as to where to go, and that was part of the exciting part of it. Seeing people with the different jerseys on, and wanting it to be helped. Almost everybody, shout out to Argentina for being the rudest group of folks to come to town. But beyond that, everybody else is pretty much really cool and really, really welcoming and accepting and wanting to really experience the city and that kind of thing. And but the tickets were not cheap because all three of us watched the games the same way throughout the tournament in front of a television set because those things were really high. But soccer, I think the soccer crowd really is a more money group. People don't want to, talk about like that way. I know Alexi Lalas tried to make it seem like it's open to the free world, but it's not. It's still an elitist sport. And how they do their training, how kids come up through it, all these academies and all these travel teams and the kind of thing. I kind of make it comparable to almost baseball, because baseball is getting to be the same way, where you have all these showcases and that kind of stuff, and that costs money. To go to all these things and all this travel ball, all that kind of stuff. It's not just for the average person. It still isn't, and soccer isn't. But and over in America and other places where other parts of the world where they make it, where the kid pretty much when they come out of the womb, they're kicking a soccer ball, and they make it affordable. So there's different heads around the world and how they approach these sports.
One other order of business, Tim, that I want to get out there into the Sportsvisions Nation before we get on into, of course, talking about the HBCU football is that your background, obviously, it is what it is. You grew up here in Columbus, Georgia, an outstanding athlete, and, of course, you went to a school that you're very proud of here locally, the Columbus Blue Devils. Also, the Morehouse man. And why don't you benefit of take people through that, because I know that you've done it before, but, again, we're starting a new season, and there's a lot of new listeners. And I want to give you background and to show these people that this is not some guy from around the block.
Okay, not some guy from around the block, but I am from around the block. I won't
you are.
ever get away from my Columbus, Georgia roots. Morehouse College, got up there, worked at the Ledger-Inquirer as an intern. I got that through Richard Hyatt, who was a longtime columnist there. I thought the paper at the time favored Hardaway High in its coverage in sports. And, I don't think it probably ever will change. I'm just sorry, no. And congratulations on the Ledger-Inquirer getting back into local hands. That really is exciting to see that happen, where you don't have these corporate overlords dictating your coverage. I hope it turns out to be really swell for the folks in Columbus. But yeah, I got down to the newspaper, saw that they really don't have a dog in the fight in terms of coverage. They were very agnostic in who they coverage and that kind of thing, which led to when I was in college having internships. I had a huge one, worked at CNN when it came out of the ground, which led to other opportunities working with UPI, Associated Press, some other media outlets there in Atlanta. Graduated with a degree in public relations and advertising. Never used it until about 15 years ago when I got back into public relations, but was a sports writer. And that took me from Columbus to Jackson, Mississippi, where I was deep in the SWAC for 5 years. I was there, worked at USA Today while I was there in Jackson. Moved from there to Houston, worked at the Chronicle there, where the Rockets won back-to-back championships while I was there. So, that they can, give me credit for that. Moved on from there to Orlando, worked at the Sentinel, where I covered pretty much. I went there to cover hockey, the Orlando Solar Bears, but it was also Disney and writing stories about the Magic and being a general assignment reporter. When the Braves moved to Wide World of Sports, I broke the story. So that kind of thing. And that was because of just relationships I had developed with the people there at Disney. Then on to Jackson, Tennessee, where I got into features editing. I really left being a sports writer because I got tired of waking up in hotels and not knowing what town I was in. so starting a family and that kind of thing. So done that. I was with FLASHBACK for a couple of years in their sports sponsorships, doing their thing with corporate communications. Loved it there with the folks I worked around there, and done political PR work, and then now I'm doing corporate work again back here at the airport in Atlanta.
Tim, I'm so excited about this upcoming football season. I really look forward to the segments last year coming on, talking about HBCU teams. And we got 3 conferences that we focus on, the SWAC, the MEAC, and the SEAC, which is in NCAA Division II, which, by the way, they start August 27th. They start before anybody else. And did they have media days for any of those conferences? I was just curious.
Oh, everybody, all 3. Are you talking about the SIAC?
Yes. Yeah, did they have an HBCU media day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All of them had media days. All of them, had their rankings of who they said was going to be number one and how they're going to do. And, they brought in their players. And it's interesting how this year is going to shake out kind of differently, especially with, I'll maybe start briefly with the SIAC, with this, where you're going to have this year, they've eliminated divisions for SIAC.
Oh, wow.
It's just going to be the top 2 teams are going to play for the championship at the end of the year.
Wow.
Which I think everybody should do that, really, because it eliminates all this East versus West. And I know for years where Alabama would just wear out the West of the SEC, or Georgia would wear out the East of the SEC, as opposed to making it where you play everybody, these round robin schedules where you, the top 2 teams finish that. I think that's the way they're doing it in the MEAC as well, because I don't think they have, but I think 6 teams in the MEAC. So, it makes sense to do it that way. So you pretty much consolidate those efforts. It's good. They have their media days, and pretty much everybody has who they think is going to be in the top and who's going to be in contention. In the SIAC, they're still looking at Albany State. Irrespective of them losing their head coach, they still think they have enough juice there to win. Yeah. And they look at Albany State and Benedict as being the top teams to win over there. In the MEAC, they're looking at South Carolina State is possibly given a 3-peat over there. And in the SWAC, it's like, I'm trying to think of this, it's Jackson State, Alabama State, and Prairie View are the top 3 teams that people are looking at to win over in that conference.
Tim, as a former HBCU player at Morehouse, obviously this time of year, and I know that you are an SEC fan and you like national teams and whatnot, but do you feel an allegiance and a loyalty to being able to keep up with HBCUs versus the whole big picture?
I do, because I think it's interesting in how the HBCUs, if you're going by Marshall Falk, which he's the new head coach at Southern this year, he's one of I think 3 or 4 new head coaches in HBCUs that have 0 head coaching experience. This is their first gig. This is their only gig so far. Yeah. So, but he looks at it and like the way, I guess it's something like a John Calipari. When he was with Kentucky, he brings in a kid, expects him to stay there maybe a freshman year, and, do well, and then go to the NBA. Well, he's saying, Marshall Falk, he said on the Rich Eisen show not too long ago that pretty much, you want to get the FBS is where the money is. So if, you can come here, play well, somebody sees you, and you can go on to the next level. And the next level is not the NFL. The next level is to a major college. And so I thought that was an interesting take. And he's being realistic because that's where HBCUs are right now. You're not going to have the NIL money in HBCUs, plain and simple. Only places I think that would happen are in DC or Atlanta or Houston, these major cities where you have all these corporate entities there. You would think that they would be able to, get alumni that could pull those things together, but that's not the case. Baton Rouge is large enough to do that, but across the street over there is LSU. So, you could easily see a kid from Southern balling out and then packing up and going over to LSU to join Lane Kiffin. So, I mean, you have to have this realistic mindset of how you're going to look at your program. So I have an allegiance because I went to school there. I think there are a lot of people that feel the same way. It's just like, you don't go to HBCUs essentially to really, as a stepping stone to the NFL, you're there to be somebody in your community, a doctor, a lawyer, a business person, that kind of thing. You look for your vocation as opposed to that fat paycheck of going to the next level.
Tim, last year you made a comment that really resonated with me because I thought it was very clever. It was, did the check clear game. I thought it was hilarious. Georgia plays Tennessee State. That's a prime example of did the check clear. But with the SEC going to 9 conference games, we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more SEC schools taking on FCS and some group of 5 teams. Talk about like the importance of these games for these HBCUs to not just get funds, but get national exposure because these games are going to be on TV.
Yeah, they'll be on TV, but they'll be on streaming, the streaming aspect of it. You'll see that plus at
ESPN
Plus.
Still on TV, though.
They're not going to reserve a Saturday at noon for, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So that's not going to happen. But I'm kind of torn about that, Richard, because they're talking about expanding the schedule, the playoffs and that kind of thing. And my deal is I think these games, these cupcake games, these check clear games will go away because you have to have a stronger schedule. I think that's what hurt Notre Dame this past year. They didn't think they had a strong enough schedule. And then, you have these, these people you have to be put in there because you said they would, like, to Tulane's and with the James Madison, I think both of those are in there. Whereas, there's no way in the world that Notre Dame would have lost to either one of those teams. So I think that these smaller games, people are going to start really ratcheting up their schedules. And the check clear games are probably going to be really few and far between. But that won't stop them to stop the classics from expanding all over the place because there are 31 games that are termed classic this year. So that's where the HBCUs probably make their money. The biggest of the big is the Bayou Classic, where Southern and Grambling just blow off going to the playoffs in the FCS. They blow it off because they can make more money playing in the Superdome the Thanksgiving weekend.
Mm-hmm. Tim, you made mention of 5 new coaches to the HBCU scene this time this year. Can you feel comfortable mentioning those guys?
Oh yeah. There's David Bowser, who's going to take over at Albany State, and maybe because he'll have more resources, but he was 2-15 at St. Augustine College. So that doesn't make me feel especially comfortable seeing the guy come in with a 2-15 record. You got Terry Sims, he's coming in at Clark. He's 38 and 39 at Bethune. Brad Sherrod, he's the new head coach at Morehouse. He was 17-6 at Texas Wesleyan. And Savannah State has a new head coach, Thomas Howard. This is his first coaching job and with no prior experience. Those the SIAC has the most first-year coaches. The SWAC has 2, CIAA has 2, and the MEAC has 1. And it's really, they're new coaches, and some of them are not really just new to the program. I think Ted White, he played ball, I think, at Howard, but this is his first year ever having a coaching job. And another guy in the CIAA in Winston-Salem State, Torrey Woodbury, is his first coaching job. And again, with Marshall Falk, his first coaching job.
Tim, I want to talk about your alma mater because their former coach, Terrence Mathis, is now coaching high school football. He's the new head coach at Athens Christian, and we cover them in the GIAA, so I'm looking forward to seeing his season. As he's got a game tonight, actually. But who's the new coach over there at Morehouse State or at Morehouse?
Yeah, his name is Brad Sherrod, and he comes from Texas Wesleyan, and that is the extent of what I know of him.
Okay. Fair enough.
I was like, okay, yeah. And I've seen the bio, but I haven't been that interested because I still have a real bad taste in my mouth about how they did Terrence. I really do. I think, given 2 years when you don't have you got to give a coach at least 4 to where he gets his people in. That's just me straight up. I don't care if they go 0-10 the first 2 years. Give them 4, And I think that that was a poor decision. There's a lot of messiness that goes on back behind the scenes in a lot of these different programs. It's like I've noticed as a sports writer, it's there's what's the publicly stated story, and then there's all the other stuff, all the machinations that go on behind the scenes. And I just think that was a knee-jerk thing to do, and I wanted him to have greater success there.
Tim, my final question for you, and I'll let you get on with the rest of the morning, is that if you were the czar, I guess that's the word for it, of HBCU football, how would you lay the land or lay the law as far as production, and how would you recommend being the league that you want them to be? And of course, I know that's a tall task, but you don't have any rules. I mean, this is we're just talking out loud. And again, you're the czar.
Well, I'm the czar, but I'm stealing a czar's plan that I thought was crazy talk several years ago. A dearly departed friend of ours, Roscoe Nance.
Yes.
Many years ago, Roscoe, we had a conversation. I argued with him left and right about how insane he was. He said all these HBCUs should just join one super HBCU conference where you have these divisions, and you break off from the NCAA and do your own thing.
Wow.
I think that would be really great to do. And then I think there would be interest because you grab all these HBCUs from across the country, you put them in regions per se, and then you have this championship. Everybody's not going to be on even footing. You got some D2 programs that cannot compete with D1s. There could be an upper level where you have the MEAC SWAC and where they do their thing. And then you got these other levels. You got the CIAA, the SIAC, and those people. If you can just find a way to do these super, and then you bring in those who've gone to a predominantly white institute conferences like Tennessee State, bring back Norfolk State, North Carolina A&T, bring them back in the fold, and have all these guys play within that HBCU thing, because it seems as if they're not going to be able to compete on the next level with the other schools for financial reasons. And to just leave yourself out there to be a farm team for other folks. And I just use Morehouse basketball as an example. The last 2 years, their top player has transferred to Howard and saw with the kid playing in the NCAA tournament. How can you compete with that? They're playing in the big dance, and you're playing in a gym somewhere, in Podunk, South Carolina. I mean, there's no way you can compete with that. So go up here, know what you can do. And just everybody break off to do something like that, because eventually the Power 5 is going to do that anyway. So that's coming down the road with these playoffs. So why don't you just do it? Do it already and see how it goes.
Tim, good stuff, and thank you so much for waking up with us this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. And for the folks that want to follow you on social media or follow your podcast or anything that you got going on, go ahead and mention it now.
Oh, yeah, a podcast with Ricky Hampton and Tree McDougal. We do one on Tuesday nights at 9. It's on a YouTube channel, and it's You Get What You Get. So we just do sports, culture, and anything in between. And we have some really interesting guests from back in the day to folks who are contemporary. So we do that. We're on sort of a break right now for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to ramp it up when football starts in earnest. So we're looking forward to it. And
ladies and gentlemen,
you guys through the season there, Richard and DJ.
Absolutely. Columbus finest, Tim Turner. Thank you so much, man. Have a great rest of your morning.
You guys take care.
Thanks, Tim.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning. right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-908-7197. 800-908-7197. 800-908-7197. That's 800-908-7197.
If anyone listening to me is riding in a vehicle that they don't want, I can help you out of that vehicle. I have financing for everybody. No matter what you owe on your vehicle, bring it to me. I'm going to get you out of it. And remember, at Bratton Automotive, I stack them deep and sell them cheap.
Glory's Furniture Express, your expressway to savings. Come on, get on board. Glory's Furniture saves you more. We try harder in every way, so drive a little and save today. Glory's Furniture Express, your expressway to savings.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. The only live and local sports morning show. It's the Sports Visions Morning Show with Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer on Sports Visions 92.1.
Mr. Scott Williams. Good morning. How you doing, bud?
Gentlemen. Hey, after Mama knocks you out, did you